Hello kiddos. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through a couple of these pH calculations. So we have our basic equations, okay? So we have pH, negative log, hydrogen ion concentration. And then if we go backwards and we want to solve for hydrogen ion concentration, then all we have to do is take 10, raise it to the power of our negative pH. Now this works with both pH and pOH. It works the same way, okay? Just sub in pOH for pH, and it's the same thing. Negative log hydroxide ion concentration, and to get the hydroxide ion concentration, 10 raised to the negative pOH. And then of course we have our other basic equation where if you add the two together, if you add these two together, you get 14. So I'm going to give you a couple of seconds if you need to pause the video to write these equations down before I erase them. These should be in your notes. You should have them already, but just in case, now's your chance to pause the video to get all these equations written down. Okay, so I'm going to give you some practice problems here. With these equations, you can find pH, you can find pOH, you can find anything. Okay, so let's say you're given a pH of 3.78. And you need to find hydrogen ion concentration. What is it? What is your hydrogen ion concentration? So what you're going to do, let's go back to our equation that I gave you earlier, okay? Hydrogen ion concentration is just going to be equal to 10 raised to the power of your negative pH. So on your calculator, I'm going to write down the exact buttons you would push on your calculator. Okay, you have 10. You would hit that little caret button that points up. You would hit the negative symbol because we want to type this in negative. And then we simply type in the pH the problem gave us. 3.78. Simple as that. 10, the little caret button, the negative symbol, 3.78, and then equals. And once you hit the equal sign, you should come up with 1.66 times 10 to the negative 4 molar. You round that to 1.7. Final answer. Simple as that. Final answer. So we've solved for hydrogen ion concentration. Now let's say the problem wants you to find the hydroxide ion concentration. How do we do that? Well, we can't do that until we first know what the pOH is. Okay, and that one's fairly simple. Remember, if we add up the two, what number do they equal? They equal 14. So if I know what pH is, the problem gives that to us. What do I need to do to get pOH? All I have to do is subtract from 14. So 14 minus 3.78, that will give me 10.22. And once we have pOH, then we can figure out pH. So we have pOH at 10.22. Now we can calculate the hydroxide concentration. We're going to do it the exact same way we figured out the hydrogen ion concentration. 10 raised to the power of the negative pOH. So once again, on your calculator, you will hit 10 that little caret button that points up, negative symbol, 10.22. And then of course the equal sign. Alrighty, and that should give you, for the hydroxide ion concentration, 6 times 10 to the negative 11 molar. So now we were able to get all four. It gave us our pH. We calculated hydrogen ion concentration. From there, we were able to calculate pOH. And then from there, we got hydroxide ion concentration. Bonus question, is this an acid or a base? Okay, look at the pH. Remember, acids have a pH less than 7. So this one is an acid based on the pH. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, so let's say the problem gives you the hydrogen concentration. Hydrogen ion concentration, 3.89 times 10 to the negative 4 molar. And we have to figure out everything. We have to figure out the pH. We have to figure out the pOH. And we have to figure out hydroxide ion concentration. So let's work on pH first, okay? So remember our formula. If we want pH, it's just going to be negative log, type in the concentration. So on your calculator, you would hit the negative key, the log key, and then the concentration, okay? 3.89, you would type that in. The multiplication symbol. I'm going to go to the second line here to give myself more room. You would type in the number 10. That little caret button. The negative sign again. 4. These are the keys you would type in the calculator, okay? These are the keys you would type in the calculator. Negative log 3.89 times 10 to the negative 4. You would hit equal. Okay, and what should we get when we hit equal? What should we get? For the pH, we should get 3.14. That's our pH. Now we want pOH from that, okay? Remember, when we add up pH and pOH together, what should we get? We should get 14. So now we have pH, 3.14. What can we add to 3.14 to get 14? How do we figure that out? Subtract. That's all we're going to do. That will give us our pOH. And what do we get when we subtract? 14 minus 3.14. 10.59. So the problem has given us the problem has given us hydrogen ion concentration. From there we figured out pH. From there we figured out pOH. The last thing we need to do is figure out hydroxide ion concentration. So what is our formula for getting hydroxide ion concentration? What is our formula, okay, for getting hydroxide ion concentration? It's simply 10 raised to the power of the negative pOH. That's all it is. On your calculator, type in 10. That little caret, your exponent key. Then we need the negative sign. and we just type in the pOH that we got, right? 10.59, and we hit equals. And what should we get for our hydroxide ion concentration out of this? We should get about 2.6 times 10 to the negative 11 molarity. Is this an acid or a base? Acid. Acids have a pH of less than 7. Our pH is 3.14. That is less than 7. That means it's an acid. So by giving us just one thing, we were able to calculate everything else. By giving us one thing, we were able to calculate everything else. Okay, so let's do one more just to be safe. Remember, anytime during this video, you can pause it, you can write down what I'm writing down, write down additional notes. So we're going to do one more. So this problem gives us a pOH, 5.19. We have to figure out hydroxide ion concentration, pH, and hydrogen ion concentration. So how do we get hydroxide ion concentration from our pOH, I'm sorry. Hydroxide ion concentration, remember, 10 raised to the power of the negative pOH. On your calculator, type the number 10. Hit that exponent key. Hit the negative sign, and then type in 5.19. That's our pOH. And that hit equals. Okay? 10 to the negative pOH, 5.19, and we should get 6.5 times 10 to the negative 6. Negative 6. Let me make that 6 a bit clearer. Negative 6 molar. Now we need the pH and the hydrogen ion concentration. So getting the pH is very simple. Remember, when we add these two together, what number should we get? 14. So I don't know the pH, but I know my pOH. The problem gives that to us. So how do I figure out what my pH is? Simply subtract. 14 minus 5.19. And what does that give us? We should have a pH of 8.81. Now from there, we can easily figure out hydrogen ion concentration. So once again, what's our formula? We have pH, but we don't know the hydrogen ion concentration. So to get the hydrogen ion concentration, it's simply going to be 10 raised to the power of the negative pH. 10 raised to the power of the negative pH. On your calculator, type out the number 10. Hit the exponent key. Hit the negative key. Then you're going to type in the pH, 8.81. So once we hit 10 raised to the power of negative 8.81, you should get 1.6 times 10 to the negative 9 molar. Is this an acid or a base? This is a base. Okay? Our pH greater than 7. Greater than 7 means base. So we can really go from any starting point and get any one of these values using these equations. Okay? pH, okay, is just negative log hydrogen ion concentration. Hydrogen ion concentration, 10 raised to the power of the negative pH. Working with hydroxide, let me get rid of that little thing there. Working with hydroxide, pOH, negative log hydroxide ion concentration. To get the hydroxide ion concentration, 10 raised to the power of the negative pOH. And of course, add these together and you should get 14. So just subtract it from 14 to get the other one. So all these equations, very, very simple. The calculator does all the work for you. You just have to know which one to use and how to use it, okay? Look over your notes, re-watch this video. You can pause it at any time, and you can copy down anything you need to copy down. And please comment if you have any questions. All right, kiddos, I will see you later.